Hello and welcome to On the Break. I'm here alongside Mike, out here pouring out the tears of New York Giants fans and any other team that missed the playoffs, also known as the
How you
Miami
doing today,
Dolphins.
Makooch? How
I'm
you
doing
doing today?
phenomenal. You asked the
I'm doing
question this
just
time. There we go.
just good, just splendid. You know, those Cowboys missed the playoffs. That disgusting, annoying, nauseating, the worst fan base in NFL history is out of the playoffs once again. You had your hopes up, but nope. And all those tears I've collected over the past few days on Twitter, right over here. But that only makes half of the cup. The other half of the cup is all those Giants fans whining about that 6-10 team not making the playoffs. This is to you guys.
Yeah. Mike causing his Eagles causing the Giants to miss the playoffs, but also letting in Washington, a 7-9 team with no name, get into the postseason. You know what? I said we are going to start with something else today, but let's start with what we just talked about. So, let's get to the Cowboys-Giants game. Let's go straight to that. The Giants and the Cowboys in a classic, hard-fought game between a 6-9 team and a 5-10 team. But I mean, or what were they, 6-9 at the time? I don't even care. None of these teams should be in the playoffs. I mean, let in, Arizona. Let's let in somebody else. I would let in Carolina over any of these teams. But you had the Wayne Gallman fumble at the end. Andy Dalton played terribly. Daniel Jones, his only interception was because of an Evan Ingram drop. I think that's been the story every single game for the Giants. Evan Ingram, he's bad. No way he should be a Pro Bowler. He drops more passes than he catches. I would not be surprised if that's a statistic. If he has dropped more passes than he's caught this season.
Knows
He
at
has
this
one
point.
touchdown. He's very disappointing. I believe he was a first-round draft pick. And, you see Robert Tonyan, who's catching 10 touchdowns, doesn't make the Pro Bowl. We mentioned in every episode that Evan Ingram should not be a Pro Bowler. And I think everyone agrees. But, Mike, you saw the Wayne Gallman fumble where he sat on the ball and the ball came out of his hands randomly. No one touched it. It just slipped out. Just like the Giants' playoff hopes slipped out when the Eagles lost that football game and put in Nate Sudfeld. But what did you make of this Giants-Cowboys game? I know you love talking about them boys.
Well, the Cowboys, when they have expectations, when they have that game that they need to win, that game that they need to win to get into the postseason, they always fall flat on their faces, and I just so love to see it. I was smiling from ear to ear when I saw this game, when I saw the Giants ice this game. The Giants are just inept on offense, offensively challenged.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, when they were under Ben McAfee, I thought they were very offensively challenged, but I mean, it's not really Joe Judge's fault at this point. I mean, they're just allergic to moving the ball, allergic to getting in the red zone. This Giants team, like I said, just can't really move this ball. Daniel Jones, in a way, kind of kept the game clean. He tossed a pick. He tossed 2 touchdowns. Nothing special. Sterling Shepard did have a great game, but again, it's against this Cowboys, that sorry defense of the Dallas Cowboys. And this Dallas Cowboys team, they should be able to move this ball considering they have Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, they got Zeke, and they have CeeDee Lamb, who's an emerging rookie. And they still couldn't move this ball on the Giants' defense. And this Giants' defense is good, but they're nothing special. They're not elites. They're good.
Young. They're young.
Exactly. They're young. They're good. They're a project. But this is a must-win game. And, of course, when the Cowboys have expectations, they always fall short. And that's what you always expect from this Cowboys team. And I could not be happier to see these Cowboys fans cry that they should have made it. We, them boys, we're still coming back. We got Dak Prescott. Let's see if you're even different with Dak Prescott. When you were playing with Dak Prescott, if I'm not wrong, you guys were about like 1-3, 1-4. So what's the difference at this point? I mean, maybe Dalton didn't throw as many. Dalton with Dak, you probably would have tossed like less turnovers and throw for more passing yards, but would that equate to more wins? No. Yeah, I remember like in the Atlanta Falcons game, you tossed for 500 yards. Still lost? No, wait. You still won, but
I remember 1 point against the blown onside kick that you should not have won that game.
Exactly. You guys got very lucky on that game, so I consider that a loss because you should have gotten it. But, of course, the Falcons are the most idiotic franchise in NFL history at this point going forward. But just a classic NFC shootout, just a classic NFC East showdown, and Giants came out on top, and those sorry Giants fans, had to rely on another team to win, a division rival, and that was the biggest mistake. And should we get that into that game, Makuch?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Why not? Sunday Night Football on national television. The Philadelphia Eagles played the Washington football team, and it was a solid game. Well, it was a close game. I don't think it was a very fun game to watch. I did not enjoy myself watching this football game, even when
I didn't
Jalen
watch the
Hurts
game.
was in. You did?
Nope, I didn't watch the game because meaningless game. Who cares at this point?
Yeah. Jalen Hurts. Now, here's the thing. I'll tell you this. I'll tell you the story for everyone else that didn't watch the game. It was a tight game throughout most of the game. It was about a 3-point game in the fourth quarter. Alex Smith had 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns. I saw a lot of plays where guys were tackling his leg, and I cringed every time. That's what I do when I watch Alex Smith games. But Jalen Hurts was 7 for 20, 72 yards, and a pick entering the fourth quarter. No teams are really getting any kind of traction. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside had a solid catch, actually, for once in his career. He's the leading receiver with 40 yards.
I did see that.
Yeah, that was that was the first thing I thought of. I was like, Mike has clowned this man for so long, and look at him catching a football. Nice. Let's see if he can do it more next season. Hopefully, if the Eagles can get that out of him. I doubt it. But anyway, in the fourth quarter, your boy, your favorite guy, Nate Sudfeld. Elite quarterback Nate Sudfeld. He was not getting anything going down the field. I don't think he expected to play. He's the backup quarterback. He's your third string quarterback. He was probably on your practice squad at one point. I was waiting for Josh McCown to make an appearance somehow, but Nate Sudfeld got into the game. It seemed like an absolute intentional loss for Doug Peterson. He wanted to lose this game on national television, mind you. Okay. But it was weird because he didn't rest his starters. We love alarms out here. But it was alarming that Jalen Hurts was not in the game in the fourth quarter. Okay. And I just don't understand why. Well, I do understand why, right? It was going from 9 to 6. That's the difference between Jamar Chase and,
I think everybody understands why, Makuch.
Yeah, everyone knows why. Except for Giants fans, obviously, because they wanted to make the playoffs and then, because it was on national television, made a whole mess about it. But, Mike, I want your quick thoughts on this decision from your Eagles to intentionally lose this game. I'm sure you're happy that you have the higher draft pick.
Of course I am. I mean, gets us able to land, I'm hoping, either Jamar Chase or even a linebacker, Micah Parsons, because you know how much I do not like that man, Nathan Gary. That is probably the worst pass coverage linebacker I've ever seen grace any NFL stadium field in my entire life. That's number one. Number two, Giants fans, if you really wanted to be in the playoffs, do you really think you should have been a 6-10 team relying on a team like us that has a meaningless game with nothing to lose at this point except to get a higher draft pick to get into the playoffs? No. Number three, it's not like the Jalen Hurts is playing any good. 7 for 20, 72 yards, and an interception. He was doing okay on the ground, running the ball, but that's Jalen Hurts. He can move around. He's a scrambling quarterback, but in the air, the man was god awful in the air. My goodness, I mean, it was just like you couldn't even throw a slant pass. That slant pass, my slant pass was just overthrown by Mile from Zach Ertz and got picked off. Like, Jesus Christ, that was an awful throw in double coverage even. Yeah. Number three, what was I going to say? No, number four. The thing, though, is that you got to look at these Eagles inactives. Carson Wentz was gone.
Yeah.
Miles Sanders off the field. Fletcher Cox off the field. Almost all of these important starters were off the field in the first place. They were even active. And you expect us to win a game with second team people. Even Deshaun Jackson was off the field. And they expect us to win a game like this? You should have known from the get-go we were not going to win this game. We didn't even expect to win this game. And I do not blame Doug Peterson to do this. And people have openly tanked before. Like when I was with the Jets, openly tanked for Trevor Lawrence. But, of course, that inept franchise, Adam Gase, decides to win games. And now they lost control of that number 1 overall pick. So that's on them. But now all of a sudden, Philly can't tank. All of a sudden, integrity game, blah, blah, blah. All I hear is a bunch of crybabies talking about how they want to make the playoffs. You guys don't even deserve to be in the playoffs if you're a 6-10 team. The hell with you guys. Get out of here. Case closed. Case closed, it's going to pour some more tears. That's it.
The last of the tears. And it's strange. If I was a fan of a 6-10 team, I'm not. My team's in the playoffs, but unlike a certain someone. But for the Giants, right? If you play Tampa Bay, okay, even if you somehow had that magic, beat Tom Brady again, there is no chance that a 6-10 team. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's the New York Giants. I don't care if Tom Brady got in at 6-10. That roster is not winning a Super Bowl. That roster is not going far.
Exactly. So why not secure a draft pick to make? I think if I'm not wrong, they're the 10th or 11th overall at this point. And I want to. You
Yeah.
brought up Tampa Bay. I actually want to make two other points too. If you're sorry tight end, that Pro Bowler tight end that you got, Evan Ingram, secures that game clinching catch versus Philly earlier in the season, or if Daniel Jones does not choke away that victory, that possible cover behind victory versus Tampa Bay in Monday Night Football, then you guys would have been 8-8 at this point. Then you guys, maybe I would say, yeah, I think they should make the playoffs, considering how awful, god awful the rest of this division is. But you're a 6-10 team. Your offense is inept as ever. Your defense can't carry big games when it matters most because you can't put everything on your defense if your offense is sputtering and is so lifeless for most of the game. You're not going to go anywhere. So, case closed.
Forget about it. As they say,
yeah, forget about it.
As they say up there. Yeah, it was fun on Twitter when that happened. But anyway, the case is closed. But the case is not closed for the NFC West. I mean, you have, I believe, the Cardinals missed out. The 49ers were bad this year because of injuries. You have the Rams in there. We'll see if Jared Goff can play, and we'll see if Russell Wilson can make a shot at the Super Bowl. I think that the Packers and the Seahawks are my two favorite teams in that NFC. I think the Packers end up getting in there, but we'll get into that in the playoff preview sometime before Saturday's games as well. And I want to get into that NFC West. I kind of want to group them into one talking point, but more of that Cardinals game. We know the Seahawks game was close to the 49ers. If you want to mention that briefly, we can after this. But the Rams and the Cardinals, okay. John Wolford versus I forgot your name Cardinals backup, okay. Kyler Murray was injured for pretty much most of the game, 8-17, and the Cardinals in a must-win game. Kyler Murray is hurts his ankle, and is on the sideline for so much of the game. We don't know if he's going to come back in. We're waiting for him. Maybe Kyler Murray will come in. He comes in when the Cardinals are down by 2 scores, and it was really random. But the Cardinals, even if he was in the game, I still think the Rams had a pretty good shot at this one. John Wolford, he looked like Lamar Jackson against the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, they had a lot of designed runs for Wolford, and he looked really good doing it. I don't think they planned for that really. But Wolford, I mean, they can do more with him than they did with Jared Goff. To me, that defense, and they have to run the ball with a mobile quarterback as along with Cam Akers, along with Darrell Henderson. If they had Todd Gurley, this will be a lot easier. But part of me wants to keep Wolford as the starter because I feel like, this team with Wolford can really run the clock down, can really play that defense with, the best defensive player in football on their defensive line, and their defense is stout. And what did you make of this game, though? Did you think the Rams were better with Wolford? Did you think the Cardinals could have done something differently? What do you have on this?
Well, this is why Sean McVay is one of the brightest offensive minds in football. Like, he just got a guy. I don't think John Wolford's ever really taken the NFL snap ever before the game. He played pretty well. I mean, 22 for 38. They made him throw 38 times for John Wolford. This guy who has a LinkedIn profile and was looking to go into business and sales if NFL did not work out for him. He did toss an interception, but not bad for the LinkedIn guy. I mean, 56 yards on the ground with 6 carries. That's not half bad. That's better than Cam Akers and Malcolm Brown produced. Like, geez.
Yeah. A lot better than Cam Newton did this season.
This guy almost produced 300 total yards. Not bad. I'm not ready to say that I would stick with him over Jared Goff. It would be something interesting to look in the offseason, definitely. I don't think right now, especially with the Rams going into a crucial wild card weekend matchup, I don't think right now it's really smart enough or it's good enough that, like, all of a sudden they or or just wise in any matter that do a quarterback switch at this point of the season.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like, unless the Rams, it was a meaningless game. They didn't really have anything else to like. They had nothing to lose. Throw him in. Why not get him some snaps? But they did it to rest for the wild card.
I mean, Goff hurt
too.
his thumb. They had to win this game too.
Yeah, of course, and they still were able to pull out. They put all their hope in the defense. Of course, you see the Cardinals just have one touchdown of Chris Streveler, if that's how you pronounce his name.
No idea.
Yeah,
We'll
I
go with
mean, this is why the Cardinals didn't deserve to make the playoffs. Their defense is so average. I mean, they allowed a Holford to get almost 300 total yards on them. I mean, the Rams just did what they had to do. They game managed the whole game. They just made the throws that they had to do. They made the plays that they were supposed to make, and that's how they were able to pull out this game. It was only an 18-7 win. Like, they didn't even score any touchdowns.
Yeah.
All they did was just kick.
This is Rams football. This is what they do.
They just killed the clock, killed time, and the Cardinals unfortunately were just not able to make up for this. And we saw Kyler Murray on the sideline, and it's not like he was playing awesome before his injury, anyways. But it is heartbreaking to see like a guy like Kyler Murray that balled out for most of the season until he slumped a little bit over these past few weeks. But
yeah,
it's just sad to see like a team like the Cardinals with so much potential just to go 8-8 and miss out on the playoffs. They have a lot to look forward to next year. I really like Kingsbury. I like what he's doing with this team, but sometimes just season's just not your season, you know? Like there's not always a silver lining sometimes, but it's something that they could look at the all season, like address that defense definitely. But also Holford, like you said, this is why a dual threat QB is starting to become more prevalent. It's kind of experiencing a revival in this league because you guys like Russell Wilson, you guys got like Josh Allen and like Lamar Jackson becoming these dual threat QBs, and it's just become more prevalent in these NFL offenses.
And they're winning. They work.
Exactly. It's not like they're blowing out their opponents, but it's working.
We need to see one of those teams win a Super Bowl. That's kind of what I've
why not like a dual threat QB system work with a guy like Sean McVay? And I have very high hopes for Sean McVay. I think he's a brilliant mind in football today. So we'll see where this goes in the offseason.
Yeah, McVay's already got a Super Bowl appearance. He's fine. I have a question for you. Who do you think had more interceptions this season, Kyler Murray or Baker Mayfield?
I'm sorry?
Who had more interceptions, Kyler Murray or Baker Mayfield?
I know for a fact Kyler Murray, because I know that your man Baker Mayfield kept the ball clean in the air at least.
He did. You would think at first glance, if you haven't really followed it, probably Kyler had less interceptions, but both. I mean, 12 interceptions is still solid. I mean, they both played solid years at Oklahoma. Oklahoma, great quarterback year. I just had to mention him. I just had to mention Oklahoma's having a heck of a year. Okay. Real quick.
But I know you wanted to mention your boy Baker Mayfield.
I have to. Any opportunity I get, I have to do it. But
You know what? Let's get into that game, Akuch.
Okay. But really quickly, before we do that, I got to hold them off a bit. Seahawks won by 3 against the 49ers. Are you worried? Yes or no? I'm not.
No, not really. I love the Seahawks. I'm very high on them. I love the homie Russell Wilson. That man is a beast. That man is a bad man. Yeah. He's going to do great things in the wild card, and he's used to the playoffs. Like, I'm really high on him. They could contend with the Packers, I think. I think right now I have to see a little bit more from the Seahawks, see how this defense fares in the wild card versus these better teams.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see. But if this defense could hold up, I think they could really contend against these Packers. I could really see this happening. We'll have to see, but I'm not really concerned, Makuch.
That's going to be a fun game. If it is to happen, which I think it will at some point in these playoffs, it's going to be a heck of a game. And that's going to be – it's always fun watching those two teams play. And I hope they find a matchup. But you wanted to talk about those old Cleveland Browns breaking an 18-year-long playoff streak. I don't care who you are, whether you're a Steelers fan, a Ravens fan, a Bengals fan, a Browns hater. You have to feel good for the Browns fans, whether they – win a playoff game or not. Breaking an 18-year playoff streak is something to be happy about, to celebrate during, having all that misery for almost 2 decades straight of not making the postseason, of going through over 20 quarterbacks and finally finding a guy who won't turn the ball over every time he touches it in Baker Mayfield. But the Browns winning by 2 against the Steelers, playing a lot of their second-team guys. A good amount of their starters were playing, but Big Ben obviously being the main guy out. Mason Rudolph had a great game. Never thought I'd say that again. But Mason Rudolph threw over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. He got a pick. The Browns were up by about 8, and they gave up this 41-yard bomb to Deontay Johnson, and they ended up punching it in for the touchdown with about 4 minutes to go. And they couldn't get the 2-point conversion. That's why you see a 2-point deficit. Now, this Browns defense, I think a lot of Browns fans will tell you, well, a lot of people are saying the Browns played against second-teamers or whatnot. The Browns have been playing a lot of second-teamers all season on their starting secondary. Andrew Sendejo should not be in the league, but he's a starting safety. I know Mike knows that very well. A lot of corners were injured. Denzel Ward has been hurt. Okay, Greedy Williams has been hurt. This Browns team is running on fumes, and now you see Kevin Stefanski will not be coaching against Pittsburgh. What do you make of this game? I know you love talking about Baker Mayfield as much as I do, but for different reasons. But did you like what the Browns did? I know Nick Chubb getting the ball not enough is, a problem, but what did you make of all this?
Not impressed with this victory.
No one is.
Of course, they made the playoffs, okay. But Mayfield, let me remind you, 17 for 27, 196 and a touchdown. Efficient, but not elite, not great. He was good, cool. It was cool. Like, he just did what those he was supposed to make, but nothing impressive. We'll see how he does in the playoffs. We'll have to see. We'll get into that playoff preview on Friday. We'll see Makooch. Yeah. But Nick Chubb, bad man. Top 3 running back, 14 carries, 108 yards. That's almost 8 yards a carry and a touchdown. That man is a beast.
And
honestly, I will personally pay for a chiropractor to go to Nick Chubb's house and crack his back for how much his lower back and his lumbar region has been really strained from carrying this Cleveland team to the playoffs. People like to say Baker Mayfield carried them. No, Nick Chubb, this running game did, and Kevin Stefanski did. I'll give them more credit than I give Baker Mayfield for carrying them to this to the playoff berth. And this Browns defense, oh my goodness. God awful. How in the world do you give over 300 passing yards to Mason Rudolph? Mason Rudolph, out of all people, got over 300 passing yards on them. That is just absolutely unacceptable. That is just terrible. The running defense did a little bit better, but their passing defense is just god awful. Andrew Sendejo, like you said, should not be a starting safety in this league. I don't know why he's still starting. That just god awful player, trash.
Yeah,
can't cover to save his life. Can't catch an interception. Like, for his dear life either. Can't catch a cold at all. Like, jeez. Yeah, like I said, we'll have to see next week when the Browns offense goes against their actual starters, and also their defense goes against their actual starters on offense too. And of course, you say the Browns defense has second teamers in their secondary. I do agree with that. They have been a little banged up in the secondary. That I'll give credit when it's due. They are banging in the secondary, so that is cause for concern. But Kevin Stefanski is not coaching right now. It's going to be their interim head coach. And do I think the Browns are going to win? Not a chance in the world they are going to win this game.
No.
And Baker Mayfield's going to go back down to earth.
It's going to be fun. I don't think the Browns are going to win.
We'll have to see. I just think that that Baker Mayfield and these Cleveland Browns should have beat this Steelers second team by a little bit more than 2 points. I'll say that.
Yeah.
At least. They should have beat them a little bit more.
Okay. That's fair. Pittsburgh ends up going 12-4. The Browns finishing 11-5. I never thought I'd say that in my life.
Yeah, I never thought either. I'm impressed by that though.
Yeah. By the way the Browns have built this team, they finally have an offensive line, getting Nick Chubb, and you finally signed Kareem Hunt as well, getting him, it's weird how those things work out because if Kareem Hunt didn't do something unspeakable, then he would still be a Kansas City Chief, and they wouldn't have been able to sign Kareem Hunt. That's a big reason they're in the playoffs. They would probably be about 9-7 without him, probably worse. But this Browns team, we'll see if they can do anything in the playoffs, make any kind of noise. I expect a loss from the Browns. My expectations are low, very low. Okay.
Thank you.
Yours are probably at the bottom of just if you're I'm going to say something weird. If you're playing Minecraft, it's all the way at bedrock, okay? It's bad. It's bad for you. But
yeah, my expectations are very low. If they exceed expectations, I'll be absolutely shocked. If the Browns find some way to beat these Pittsburgh Steelers, I will not be on the show. I'll probably be hiding for the most of the show.
If Baker
So
Mayfield throws for 5 touchdowns and 300
I
passing
will
yards
be
against Steelers
I
defense,
will literally be hiding, or I may not show up for the next episode. We'll have to
yeah,
see. Mookie.
my jersey will come out. My Baker jersey will come out. It's in there. Oklahoma jersey. It's an Oklahoma jersey. Okay. We'll see. But I do want to say something. Baker Mayfield was drafted in the same draft class as Josh Allen. Um, it, I'm a fan of Baker, but I will never make the claim that he's better than Josh Allen. Josh Allen has been an absolute
By far,
beast.
Josh Allen
Yeah,
millions
Josh
of
Allen's a top 6 quarterback right now.
by millions of galaxies far, far away.
Yeah,
In a galaxy, and a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. He is Star Wars reference right there, but he is so much
yes.
better than that man, Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is better at shooting commercials than Josh Allen. I'll say that.
That's a great quality. That's a great quality. It means you make a lot of money off endorsements, but get your bag, Baker. I never criticize you for that one. But the Bills, 56-26 against a team fighting for the playoffs. Huh? It's the Dolphins came out flat, lost by 30. Okay, Josh Allen was taken out in about the third quarter. Wow. Tua played like garbage. Okay, he was just not good against his Bills defense, and we'll see what they do next season.
He's a project.
He is a project, and I mean 361 passing yards off 58 attempts is nothing to We can count that as an accomplishment. A rookie should not throw the ball this many times.
Of course, yeah, definitely. But you're playing from 30 points behind. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, exactly. You have to do what you have to do. But I mean, they have to draft a running back this offseason. They'll figure it out. We'll get into that around draft time. The Dolphins, though. I'm not even worried. The Dolphins missed the playoffs. Thank you, Dolphins, for losing. My Colts got in because of you. I am forever in your debt. We will now face the same fate that you did, and we will take a thrashing to Buffalo. Hopefully not by 30, maybe about 14. I'll take 14. Buffalo is going to win the AFC. I know back in April, May, I said Kansas City was surefire in. It's Buffalo now. I think Buffalo just is on this other level in the AFC.
That's what I'm saying.
They're hot at the right time, and I think that they're going to end up winning the AFC.
I said before that Buffalo, at the beginning of the season, I never was sold on Kansas City. I said that Buffalo was a dark horse contender for this AFC. Now all I have, we can move on after this because all I have is 2 words.
Okay.
Watch out. That's all I got.
Watch out for Buffalo. Let's go, Buffalo. I mean, they look good. I want to mention something. The Jets lost to the Patriots. Adam Gase is finally fired. We're not going to talk about it today. Okay, we're going to get into it tomorrow. Nico is back, boys. He's going to talk about his Jets, and we're going to get into Adam Gase, hopefully.
Get there too.
Yeah.
3% better, man.
I know. And really quickly, some news. Broncos finally, John Elway steps down. He more stepped up. He's a president now, but he's no longer doing GM duties. I mean, Broncos and Raiders are just mediocre, and they just never found their way. They never found their way this season. I mean, Broncos injured quite a bit. The Raiders always coming in 8-8, 7-9, 8-8 strong.
Yeah, Raiders are always like the almost, what if, should have been, could have been. That's just the Raiders for the past 3 years,
We'll see if they fulfill it next season. I doubt it, especially with Derek Carr, who's kind of fits that brand really well. And really quickly, the Titans and the Texans, a 3-point game. King Henry reaching 2,000 yards rushing. That man is a monster. The Texans winning by 3. The Texans lost. The Texans lost by 3 off some game-winning field goal. A.J. Brown caught a miraculous pass. Are you worried about these Titans? Do you think that they're going to come back?
Worried, and I've never been high on these Titans. I thought they were very overrated. Congrats to the playoffs, but if you can't beat literally the third-place team in your division, and you only beat them by 3, and thank God, praying to the gods, thanks God. That's basically what they did.
Yeah.
Thank you to the gods, the football gods, for getting me that field goal. Because if you didn't, I'm pretty sure Deshaun Watson, that bad man, that top 5 quarterback in my opinion, that quarterback is able to carry his team. He would have came back. He would have beaten you. So
Deshaun Watson, leading passer in the NFL.
Exactly.
That's right.
Very high on Deshaun Watson, but these Titans, I'm very concerned. I don't remember who they're playing. The Titans, I think they're playing
Baltimore.
They're playing the Ravens.
I got the Ravens in that game.
That's going to be different because last year, of course, those Titans knocked out Lamar Jackson and those overrated Ravens. But
Yeah. The battle of
this,
overrated today. Or on
yeah,
Sunday is the first game on Sunday. I'll be
yeah, that's
waking
what
up
I
to
thought.
that.
Like, yeah, don't they play the Ravens? But right now, it seems like the story might be different. The Titans seem kind of overrated. Their offense is just so fixated around the Derrick Henry. And Derrick Henry, that man is a beast, over 2,000 yards. Congrats to King Henry. But if these Ravens find out a way to shut down King Henry, watch out. Just watch
Yeah.
out.
Because then you'll have to rely on Ryan Tannehill to throw the football, and that
And
never ends well.
This Titans defense does not look playoff caliber. At the beginning of the season, they didn't look bad. They looked decent. But
Yeah.
now, I'm very concerned. Very concerned about this
Yeah.
Titans team going forward.
Yeah, I have plenty of concern as well. But we'll see if they can beat Baltimore. We'll see if Baltimore can beat them. We're concerned about both of those teams. So, but Baltimore, quick blowout, 38-3. We expected this.
They
Bengals
should
stink. Bengals
destroy
stink.
the Bengals. It was a must-win game. John Harbaugh's a great coach. Love to see what he did in that game.
Love to see what they did. Love to see what they did. Anyway, Mike, I think the rest of the games that are on the slate pretty meaningless. So, is there anything that you have else to add about this season? Anything else you want to get into, or are we done?
I mean, we're pretty much done. I mean, she's lost to the Chargers. The Chargers are an idiot for firing Lynn so
Yeah.
prematurely. Now they want to hire Jason Garrett. Maybe that is.
Yeah, that's wow.
If you want to substitute Anthony Lynn for Jason Garrett, there's something going on in that front office. They might take second place for the most idiotic franchise in NFL in the NFL today.
Yeah, 100%. Chiefs played all their backups, by the way. No
Yeah,
Mahomes.
I expect them. They just wanted to rest their starters. I totally understand.
2 bye
that.
weeks. They get 2 bye weeks basically.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And
we'll take that.
Washington beat Philly. We already talked about that game. Just what happened happened. Packers beat the Bears. The Bears stuck in the playoffs. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to get eliminated in the first round. I hope they do.
Yeah, they take on the Saints. So who beat the Panthers by 20-24 or whatever it was.
Yeah, but other than that, Makuch, I think we're okay. Other games were just kind of meaningless. They were just played to play,
Playing to play. It's just on the schedule. You got to do what you got to do. But
yes, sir.
It is what it is. Mike, thank you for coming on the show. I'm John McCooch alongside good old Michael Trinidad coming on to you again. We got videos coming this week. We got Adam Gase coming on tomorrow. We're going to talk about his firing finally, thank God.
They can't wait to talk about those Jets.
Yeah, you're going to be there. Nico's going to be there. We're all going to have some fun. Playoff preview. We'll see who comes on. Maybe we'll have some surprises. Who knows what happens. But this is On the Break. Thank you all for watching. Again, thank you, Mike, for coming on the show. As always, we will see you all later. Thank you for watching.